Welcome to the City Show. Pat O Melia here, you concerned Jersey City resident there. North Bergen resident, Bayonne resident, all the residents of Hudson County. We're in a lot. I think we're all in Hudson County now with the City Show. We're in West New York. We're in Secaucus, Harrison, Bayonne, East Newark. We're in Kearney. Yeah, I think we got it all. Not just Jersey City, but Jersey City is the county seat. So it is the big kahuna in Hudson County. It's very expensive kahuna. We're going to talk about that today with the school board. Let's go. Don't forget everything on the bottom of the screen. You got subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Don't forget us on the live stream app. That is free to download. We archive all our shows there. But there's a lot of other programming besides our shows. So download it. It's free. That's our base streaming network. And if you have any issues, give me a call if you have some consumer issues. For that matter, we'll be talking about some consumer issues with GoDaddy today. But let's get to the show at hand here. Spring training is here. Spring is here. That's a sign that spring is here. The Yankees and the Mets are in camp. The new Yankees are hitting the ball pretty good. The Josh Donaldson guy hit a home run yesterday. Opening day, I think, is in 2 weeks. There are some Yankees and Mets who aren't vaccinated. It is questionable if they will be playing at home because you watch with the Nets with Kyrie Irving. He can't play at home because of the COVID protocols that are in place in New York City, which are the same ones that will be in place at Citi Field and at Yankee Stadium. There's been some activity with the St. Peter's basketball team last week or so, making a lot of news. Of course, they are in the Sweet 16, tremendous tournament for the St. Peter's Peacocks, St. Peter's University here in Jersey City, as many call it, the Harvard of New Jersey. Congratulations. I'm like that no-hitter guy. I don't like talking about things until it's done. You know, you say something about a no-hitter, and boom, there goes the no-hitter. Nothing but net, guys. Do great down in Philadelphia. They're playing Thursday afternoon or Thursday night in Philadelphia. Gas prices have come down a little bit. People are talking, the prices are down. Yeah, regular went from like $4.19 a gallon to $4.15 a gallon. That's not a lot, but it is something. Hopefully those prices continue to go down as we enter the summer months. So you can have your vacation. You can go somewhere, maybe down to the Jersey Shore. Let's break for commercial. We'll come back. I'm going to talk about Jersey City Board of Ed. We'll be right back.
Jersey City Medical Center is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County because your heart doesn't beat just for you. So get it checked. When your bones are healthy, it lifts us all. We're delivering joy daily in our Lord Abbott Maternity Wing and providing New Jersey's only NCI-designated comprehensive cancer center. We'll continue building our medical network and taking every precaution for your safety so that we can all be healthy together.
Stevens Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
We're back, City Show here. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the whopping Jersey City school budget. We're going to talk about North Bergen breaking ground on a new junior high school in North Bergen without a whopping budget or huge tax increase. Kudos to Mayor Sacco, his commissioners, and the North Bergen Board of Education. We got some quick hits. Hopefully we get to them. Academy Bus. Bayonne covers Putin's name on the teardrop. Where's the Jersey City story of that teardrop? Tunley Avenue. And we're going to talk about GoDaddy and a consumer issue, which involved me this time. Jersey City school budget, bum. And boy, was it a bum. Jersey City Board of Education has announced a budget of $955.5 million. Sounds like the lottery guy, right? Yeah, but there's no winners in this lottery. It is incredible on how the Jersey City Board of Education acts when they're talking about these budgets. You know, they never talk about, cutting the budget. And if there's even a mention of it, well, it's the children, or we'll have to lay off teachers. No, you don't. But we're jumping the gun here. $955.5 million. And again, every time anybody's in favor of this budget, it's for the children. That's approximately $2,400 for each property owner in Jersey City. That is huge. Let me give you a little background on this here, a little math. Let's do a little math here. $955.5 million divided by the 30,000 students in the Jersey City school system comes out to $31,850 per student. Almost $32,000 a student. Now, you recall last week, I was mentioning there was about $27,000 a year to educate a Jersey City kid. Not anymore. Went up by $1,000 per student. And I also mentioned last week Toms River. Toms River, I'm sure you guys know where Toms River is. It's a fairly known township in Jersey City. It's about an hour away. Take the turnpike to exit 11, 11 to exit 82, and bingo, you are in Toms River. It's about an hour away with limited traffic. Yeah, the price to educate a student in Toms River is $16,851. That is a difference of $15,000 between Toms River and Jersey City. And Toms River is like a little Jersey City. They're an hour away from Jersey City, and they're almost 50% less per student. Why is that? And the kids in Toms River, they're fine schools. They're going off to becoming doctors and lawyers and, scientists and whatever. They're not, they're not the, hey, you guys. None of that's happening here. These are smart kids. Why is it almost 50% more expensive in Jersey City? Now I know we're going to say, well, it's more expensive in Jersey City. They ain't paying no property taxes on those schools. That ain't happening. And that's usually your biggest expense in business. It's right up there with payroll and all. A difference of $15,000 per student. And it's the same curriculums, it's the same. They got football teams, they got, field trips, they got science rooms, they got STEM, all that's the same. Everything we're doing in Jersey City, it's the same in Toms River. Just that it's like half the cost. In the last 2 years alone of Jersey City school system tax increases is equivalent or more to the entire Toms River budget for schools. And they have about 16,000 students. And there, I think the number is at $265 million. It is incredible, the difference here. I remind you, let me scare you as I remind you, last year there was a $1,000 Jersey City school system tax increase. Mayor Fulop was able to cover that expense last year using COVID monies. He's not going to be able to do that this year. So you got the $2,400 if the $955 number stands, and since Mayor Fulop will not be able to cover the $1,000 increase last year per property owner, you are looking at a tax increase of $3,400 per property owner in Jersey City. Remember, $2,400 on the $955 million budget, and Mayor Fulop will not be able to cover the $1,000 tax increase from last year. So you're looking at $3,400. That comes out to $284 per month on the property owner, which will be passed along, if possible. If it's a two-family home, you're passing that along to the renters. Three-family home, you're passing that along. This is insane, the numbers from the school system. That has to be reviewed. Forget about affordable housing in Jersey City when we're looking at tax increases of this magnitude that are going to change the cost per month of to almost $300. That has to be passed along in a city that is very expensive now to rent in. You know, we go to builders and developers here in Jersey City, so you got to put at least 10% affordable housing in here. We're trying to make things affordable. Well, no, we're not. And it's not fair to these people building apartment buildings or large-scale development, forcing them to lock in at their own cost, by the way, affordable housing so they can build in Jersey City, if Jersey City is not going to be part of trying to create affordable housing. Now, if the school system is going to keep jacking the taxes, $1,000, $2,400 a year, there's no affordable. It won't be affordable. And it's wrong. It's a one-way street with somebody who's trying to build apartment buildings or a large scale here. You know, during the pandemic with these property owners, there were no rent increases. There were no evictions. They were stuck. But the taxes kept going up. You know, the tax increases from whether it's a municipality, the county, or, as it has been for the last 3 years in a row, tax increases from the schools. Property owners had to pay it. In many cases, they weren't getting rent. They had no income coming in, but they had to pay that, because you know what happens if you don't pay those taxes? You get liened on your property. There was no break to the property owners, and it's wrong what we're doing. We keep trying to force affordable housing when it's a one-way street, when the school system keeps jacking up the taxes like that. There is no affordable. Those taxes are going to be passed along, along with every other damn expense that we're experiencing right now also. All that has got to be passed along somehow, some way, right from whether it's a rent or a business that are getting hit with these tax increases. It is a very difficult time. We're going to break the commercial. You're watching The City Show. I'll be right back.
I've got cancer.
We've got the highest level of cancer care,
the latest clinical trials,
researchers working to find a cure,
and nurse navigators to guide you every step of the way.
At New Jersey's only NCI-designated Comprehensive Cancer Center, your safety has always been our top priority.
I've got cancer, but I also have peace of mind.
Jersey City Medical Center and Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey. Let's beat cancer together.
We're back, City Show. Pat O Melia here. Are you there? Let's pick this up. And as always, mind you, there is no real attempt to cut the school budget. Yeah, there was some conversation in the Zoom meeting that they had. Well, what should we cut? Everybody's like, you got to cut some things. You can't keep going to the property owners here of Jersey City and expecting them to swallow these increases every year. Of course, they're not. Because there's no cap now on, you can raise your rents, and they're going to be raising rents because they've been in the hole for the last 2+ years. Let's focus on this abysmal budget right now. So at $955.5, there's an increase of $141 million. What do you say we start there and figure out why the hell is there an increase of $141 million this year? Let's start there. And we'll work our way back into these other insane increases that they have dropped on us. Again, an hour away is 50% less to educate the kids. And it's a fine education in Toms River. Like I said, it's an excellent township. One of the things they talked about is conditions of the schools. Oh, the schools are all falling apart. Most of them are 90 years old. I went to PS 23 on Broadway in Jersey City. I text the president of the Jersey City Board of Education today. I want to take a tour of my old grammar school, PS 23. I want to see what shape that is in today compared to my memory of it. And I spent a lot of years in there. I have a very good memory of that school. I want to see what it looks like. Even with my bad knees, I'll walk around that huge school. I'll go to the CD Auditorium, huge auditorium, probably the biggest one I've ever seen in schools. The pool. Actually, I think it's an Olympic-sized pool. The wood shop. I'm going to go everywhere around there. I'm going to hit the gym. Huge gym. I want to see where all this is falling apart. Because we didn't have any problems when I was there as a kid. Everything was open. Everything was available. It was a long time ago. But let's see just how bad these things are. When I go to a civic meeting or a political meeting, or whatever we're doing, usually at school, whether it's at 28 school, number 7, the school's looking pretty damn good shape. Now, 28 school isn't that old. Neither is number 7, really. Now, 28 was built during McCann. look in pretty good shape. Where are we talking about these things falling apart? You know, budget-wise, I'll start by exempting the teachers. Everything else is on the table when we go through this budget. You know, whatever it is. All the personnel, besides teachers, all the contracts, I'm sure there's some interesting ones there, all the programs, insurances, buses, security, heat, light, and power, every expense has to be reviewed. You're paying for it. You have to know. I don't want a friendly kind of budget either. I mean forensic. Where is the friggin' money going? You know, it's easy to write a check when they're writing it with your money. You know, mom and pop, young couples starting out in Jersey City, you know, and 20% of the properties in Jersey City are owned. 80%, I think it is, of Jersey City are renters. There's a small group. You know, you got, you know, seniors, they're on the back end. You know, they depend on that property. That's their biggest investment. They depend on that rent. They have a limited amount of income coming in. You have young couples starting off who possibly were able to afford to buy a house in Jersey City, a 1, 2 family, 3 family. They're the ones that can't handle these type of increases. 80% of Jersey City are renters. I'm going to say 50% of those renters can't handle the increases that are coming. And that $284 or so, it's coming. If something doesn't change. We got to get it to the point. Now, this is all going, you know, Mayor Fulop has no control over this with the school board. He's got no sway. The mayor, the administration, the council are trying to do whatever they could. They have to have some say and sway. Yeah, Mayor Fulop he has to attack this. We go to an appointed board, get this budget up for vote to the people. A lot of municipalities vote on that budget. Let the people of Jersey City vote on that budget. Like I said, affordability, you know, the property owners can't absorb this. Especially in everybody I talk about, you know, Matt Calley and, you know, LaFrac and Panapet. That's what we're talking about here. I'm talking about mom and pop who make up the bulk of the property owners in Jersey City. They're the ones that are getting hurt here. Businesses can't absorb this either. They're going to pass it along. That's your expense. When you're trying to buy something, it costs more because businesses got to pass this along. So yeah, it's almost like a double whammy for people. There is never a good time to increase expenses, but this is certainly a bad time to do it. We're coming out of a pandemic. We're in an inflation, and here we are looking at jacking up property taxes, $2,400 a month. Let's go to a different school situation. North Bergen. The township of North Bergen, Mayor Sacco and his gang, last week they broke ground on a new high school. This is the little township of North Bergen, the township that has a lot more municipal parking than us. They broke out Mayor Sacco, the town commissioners, all the school officials. They were down there on Tunley Avenue at the side of the old high-tech. I think it's on 85th and Tunley Avenue. That building is going to be retrofitted. It's going to be renovated. It's going to be built on. And we're showing you on the screen now, hopefully. It'll be the North Bergen Junior High School West Campus. They're retrofitting the old building now, and it's going to be a great complex. And nobody's digging into the pockets of Jersey City or North Bergen residents in this case for $300 a year. You know, in North Bergen, you never hear these crazy tax increases, but they deal with them constantly. And their budget goes out to vote, by the way. They're retrofitting the school, and besides your normal classes, your normal science and math and algebra and, everything else is going on, there is going to be some blast from the past. It's going to also take on sort of a vocational aspect. In the old high-tech, at one time, was the Hudson County Votech. For that matter, I took welding classes there back in the old days when I was a mechanic. Now what they're going to have, they have culinary arts. That's a big thing now. Chefs and cooking. Hudson County Community College has the culinary school up on Journal Square. Vocational programs are going to include carpentry. What a great field, carpentry. Not everybody's going to go to college. A lot of people go to college, they go into debt. They got their degrees, they got their masters, whatever the case is. And a lot of those kids who went to college and went into debt to get their degrees, a master's or PhDs, aren't actually using that education or the degrees or masters they got. I know a couple personally that aren't using them. You know, not everybody needs to go to college. Going to a trade school, learning how to be a carpenter, what a great field. They're going to teach plumbing at the North Bergen Junior High School. That's a great deal. Listen, let's break for commercial. You're watching The City Show. I'll be right back.
Jersey City Medical Center has a passion for heart health. We're Hudson County's only full-service heart hospital with innovative technologies and premier cardiovascular physicians, a partnership with Rutgers Health, the latest technology and medical advancements, and nationally renowned care for every heart in every community. Whoever your heart beats for, our hearts beat for you. Jersey City Medical Center.
We're back. City Show. Pat O Melia here. My very cold coffee. I got to get a haircut, too. I'm looking at the monitor and saying, hey, you got to get a haircut. But I hate it because, I'm losing my hair. Right now, it looks like I got a lot of hair. Like it. You're going to learn plumbing in the new North Bergen Junior High School. They're going to teach auto tech. And as a mechanic, an old-time mechanic, working on a car, I just did an oil change on my van this weekend. I try to do what I can. But these cars are so sophisticated now that you can't, unless you have big investment in electronics and you got a lift. For that matter, I want to do grease job on the van. I got to go out and get a pneumatic grease gun. There's only so many things you can do yourself anymore. These cars are so sophisticated. And with the advent of EVs, the electric vehicles, there's a whole new world of auto repair there. They're going to start teaching that. And those kids can get the basics from the junior high school and then go to, maybe an Apex technical school, that sort of thing. Not everybody needs to go to college. There will be other disciplines that they'll also be teaching there. Like I said, I imagine welding will be one of them. Like I said, I did my welding classes at the old Votech there on Tunley Avenue. Renovations also will include a new auditorium. Again, hopefully John's got that conceptual drawing they have. There will be a turf practice field for football, soccer, softball, and baseball infield. They're putting everything they can. And it's in high tech, if you've ever been there, it's like a long block. And I'm sure the city is negotiating, the township, I should say, is negotiating to get some more property back there. I don't know in that drawing, that's everything of high tech or not, but that is a lot of land. Great job by the township getting the monies. I know they did some bonding. They recently got some help from the state money-wise, so good job by the school system, George Holter, Mayor Sacco, all the commissioners, excellent job. What we're going to do now, because our studio is right down the street on Tunley Avenue, we'll go down there maybe once a week. We'll document all the changes going on, all the retrofitting and renovations and construction, and keep you posted on that. All right, let's get into a few quick hits here as we start to close down the show. Academy bus in Hoboken, they got jammed up with the state of New Jersey overcharging for passengers or bus routes that they didn't do, and the state fined them $20 million. What was interesting, and I said at the time on the show, is how are they still allowed to bid on state contracts? If you're a political figure or you have a governmental job and you get jammed up somehow, when you are convicted or you cop your plea, whatever it is, you're not going to have a governmental job anymore. You're not going to be able to be employed by a town or a county or a state. You forfeit that. How was Academy of Bus allowed to get caught, fined $20 million or so, and then still be able to bid on state contracts? And they did. And they almost got two very lucrative contracts. But people from the state and municipalities stepped in and said, wait a minute, we need more safeguards. We need to understand more before Academy. And I'm not wishing anything bad on Academy. You got caught, you're going to suffer. It amazes me that they were actually going to be awarded these contracts if some state senators and some other political figures and governmental figures and concerned civic people didn't speak up and say, wait a minute here. They were deceiving us. And they agreed to pay a $20 million fine. And you act like things are normal. Like I said, if you're in a township or a city employee or a county employee and you get caught doing something, you are exempt from ever holding a taxpayer-funded job again, any kind of governmental job, even in autonomous agencies. You're out. So Academy Bus didn't get those 2 contracts. Bayonne, the Teardrop. It was an artist who donated the Teardrop that's in Bayonne, the 9/11 Memorial. Originally, it was donated to Jersey City. Glenn D. Cunningham was the mayor then, and Glenn was trying to figure out how we could he was going to build like a pier and put it out on the Hudson River so everybody could see it, New York and New Jersey. But at that time, there was such a political upheaval here. You know, if Mayor Cunningham would go outside at noontime and say, the sky is blue, the city council would have said, no, the sky is orange. They couldn't agree on anything. So we eventually lost the Teardrop. It went to Bayonne, and Bayonne got the Teardrop. You know, they erected it. You know, they were like the Mikey. You know, Mikey will like it. Let Mikey take it. They erected it, and it's a beautiful monument. And when it was donated from the artist and the country of Russia, Putin was leading it. So Putin's name is on the monument. Jimmy Davis and Mayor Davis and the people of Bayonne have put Gappers tape over Putin's name. And what's interesting, years ago there was an assemblyman, Tony Chiappone, decent guy. He got jammed up and had to resign his office. He wanted to pass a bill statewide that any disgraced elected officials, their names would be struck from any kind of monuments. You know, it was kind of like trying to rewrite history. It was interesting. That's pretty much what Bayonne's doing. They're trying to strike these names off of monuments. Tunley Avenue. You want to get high on some weed? Well, Tunley Avenue is the road for you. North Bergen just authorized 2 weed retail locations. One, I think it's at 6901 Tunley, and the other one's at 1601 Tunley, basically to the left and the right of where my studio is in North Bergen. Jersey City just agreed to let a cannabis, weed, retail operation open on Tunley Avenue also, northbound over pretty close to Secaucus Road there. So if you want to get some weed, you just ride down Tunley Avenue. You can check the prices. See if Jersey City's cheaper than North Bergen, and the good stock, go over to North Bergen and get some, or go to Jersey City. But you're going to have a lot of options on Tunley Avenue. GoDaddy. Now, we have the websites for Hudson Media Group, and there's a hosting fee. GoDaddy, out of the blue, debited my account $431, which I had an issue with. And they said, well, this is for 3 years. Well, so, first off, this happened 3 years prior, and I took all the auto renews off. Turns out that GoDaddy changed the system. Once I manually renew something, all auto renews started. So I had to get with GoDaddy to get my account reimbursed, and I will take it 1 year at a time. The way the world is right now, I don't even know we'll be here 3 years from now. So I certainly don't want to do that. So we got GoDaddy to agree to refund us. And in the process of doing that, somehow they screwed up our website. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, our website will be back up. All right, you be good, you be safe. I'll talk to you later. Good night.